All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Today's a pretty good day. I am beyond excited for this video because today, right here, right now, we are about to take a first look for the very first time ever at the official CGI trailer for the all-new Assassin's Creed Red, which is now known officially as Assassin's Creed Shadows. This trailer we're about to watch, along with this video, is set to come out on Wednesday. Now, at the time of this recording, it is currently Monday, so we've got this trailer a couple of days early. A massive thank you to Ubisoft, by the way. We do have a couple of other extra things in regards to this game that I think a lot of you guys will find pretty cool. So if you're interested in that, make sure you guys stay tuned. But right now, we've got a brand new Assassin's Creed in front of us. So sit back, relax, and let's do this.
Who are you?
Oh my God.
All I have ever known in my life, our land, our customs,
Oh my God.
family, burns in the name of unification.
From my understanding, there's two main characters. Oh, this looks so good. Oh, God.
You are still a frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea. The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all come from the same river.
Those are the two main characters.
Greed.
One's a samurai. That guy. And the other one's a shinobi,
Power.
which is the girl.
Vengeance.
Oh my God, that looks so good.
And you, will you continue down that river? Or choose another path beyond what we see?
And we
Wow.
must look for it together.
Bro, I know this is CGI. I know. But man, I'm so pumped.
We must learn to trust, rebuild.
And follow the blade.
Man, this trailer's pretty long. Let's go, boys. Hopefully that music's not copyrighted or anything. Wow.
I said, who do you serve?
Oh shit. Wow, my boy's
We
fucked.
are the shadows.
That served the
Listen.
light.
Listen. Oh. November 15th, bro. Did you hear the Assassin's Creed melody kind of playing in the back? Like the trailer reminding you, hold up a sec, all right? This is still Assassin's Creed. And man, you guys know it. and I've mentioned this so many times, I'm already a broken record at this point. We did that Assassin's Creed marathon. I might do an entire brand new marathon, to be honest, just to hype up for this game. I don't know. We'll see. But that marathon changed my entire viewpoint, my entire outlook on what Assassin's Creed meant as a video game. And to me, it is probably within my top 5, maybe even, dare I say, top 3 franchise series ever that I've ever played. It was such a phenomenal experience, in my opinion. By the way, the creators of this game is Ubisoft Quebec, if I'm not mistaken, which are the same creators of AC Odyssey, which I think was also a pretty good game in itself. But this is a brand new Assassin's Creed, and this time we've got 2 brand new protagonists. We've had this in the past, but this time one can do things that the other cannot. In this video, we're going to kind of go through all of these things together, what this game's about. It is taking place in Feudal Japan, which is going to be insane. And we're going to kind of go through the synopsis of what this game is as far as story and what these characters are and who they are, most importantly. And we'll probably watch this trailer one more time at the end, because that final bit, bro. Ubisoft states that Shadows is a dynamic and ever-changing open world set in Japan, where the forces of vengeance and forgiveness collide during the critical events of the country's unification. As we saw in the trailer, the game introduces a unique dual protagonist system featuring Naoe, who is a skilled shinobi from Iga, and Yasuke, who's going to be an iconic samurai. Both of these characters offer distinct gameplay experiences as their stories intertwine in a world where nothing is purely black and white. I'm trying to go back into what we just saw in the trailer. Right at the beginning, it seemed like Yasuke was set off to probably attack Naoe's village. Whether he was lied to or not, we don't know. And eventually, somewhere along the line of the story of this game, they kind of come to terms and realize that the people that they should be after is probably not themselves, rather the people above them. Again, that's just me speculating at the moment, but it does seem like at first they're going to want to kill each other, and then maybe eventually they start to form some sort of alliance. Assassin's Creed Shadows is set to revisit the franchise's roots with a fresh take on stealth as you become an assassin shinobi, and it transforms the combat formula, offering the ultimate samurai fantasy, forging a new breed of RPG for the franchise. This is really interesting. This is kind of like what we talked about during the trailer, because it seems like if you play as a shinobi, you're definitely going to have a different experience. Not completely, but slightly, whether it be for combat or traversal, as opposed to when you play with the samurai character. It does seem like Ubisoft is trying to cater to both fans of this case. We have the old school fan base, which is like really heavy on like bring back the Assassin's Creed stealth sort of thing, and then you have like the newer school where it's like, hey, you know, I kind of like going in there and just kicking some ass. So maybe this is their way of trying to cater to both fan bases. Ubisoft states that there's an exploration system now, which is also redefined and centered around a spy system and fully customizable player hideouts. So on screen, I'm going to share with you guys the official Assassin's Creed Shadows storyline plot, so we can have a little bit of a better understanding as to what we can expect from this game's story. This is the first time me checking this out. Please be aware, some of these names might be butchered in the process, so I apologize in advance. So it says Japan 1579. The country is on a brutal path toward unification, driven by the iron will of daimyo Oda Nobunaga. Unrest grows as new coalitions appear and corrupted foreigners infiltrate the land. After the brutal invasion of the peaceful province of Iga, a young shinobi embarks on a journey to fulfill an impossible promise, while a legendary samurai finds a new purpose, confronting the demons of his past. You will live the intertwined stories of Naoe, an adept shinobi assassin from Iga province, and Yasuke, the historical legend. Against the backdrop of the turbulent late Sengoku period, this remarkable duo will discover their common destiny as they usher in a new era of Japan. Naoe comes from the remote mountainous province of Iga in Japan, the birthplace of the shinobi. Her father, Fujibayashi Nagato, trained her to fight and tried to instill in her the values of valor, wisdom, benevolence, with varying degrees of success. These values are challenged when the great and brutal daimyo Oda Nobunaga invades their home. Fujibayashi Nagato also instills in her a hatred for this tyrant, the antithesis of everything they stand for. And then we have Yasuke, the iconic samurai. who was a real person and most likely born in Mozambique, taken by the Portuguese as a child slave, raised and trained as a warrior, and eventually came to Japan in the service of the Jesuit missionaries. Yasuke was the first African that Oda Nobunaga had encountered. Yasuke impressed the great daimyo with his physical prowess, artistic appreciation, and ability to speak Japanese. Nobunaga in turn made Yasuke a samurai in his service. Now, according to Ubisoft, Yasuke had other purposes or reasons for coming to Japan, but at the moment they're not really giving us any other information, but that's definitely going to be tied into the story of this game. And they're saying that eventually, somewhere down the line, we'll get more info on that. So right at the beginning, we see the Iga province. This is where obviously one of our characters is from, the Naoe, who is the Shinobi assassin, who is a farmer warrior from this province. This is a real place in Japan, by the way, and it's isolated in the mountains. Several Shinobis come from here. During the trailer, we see an attack happening on the Iga province, which is coming from the troops of Oda Nobunaga, which again is this gentleman right here, who was actually an incredibly powerful figure at the time. There was a total of 2 attacks on Iga province by the Nobunaga clan. The first one being in 1579 and the second one being in 1581, which apparently was a lot more devastating, more violent, and that's where Iga got completely crushed. Interestingly enough, Ubisoft is making it very clear that we probably ought to pay attention to the Japanese proverb of this game, which is, "You're still a frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea." This is basically something that will resonate with both characters in this game's story, which will open their eyes. And apparently things are not necessarily what they seem, and that's what will unite Naoe and Yasuke in something much bigger than themselves. One of the biggest mysteries in this game so far, which we don't really know much about, is Yasuke's arrival in Japan and what exactly his motives were. The only thing that we do know is that he's a samurai, and apparently he arrived couple of years before all of this occurred, and so he was actually really good at what he trained for, which was learning Japanese really quickly. He was very fluent. He also had a lot of knowledge of the Japanese culture, and he was the first African man that Oda had ever seen, so he had asked him to join him. Now, was he there to get vengeance? I don't know, but he was there for a particular motive that we yet do not know what that was. So whether you choose to play with the samurai or the shinobi, you must know that it is officially confirmed in front of me. They both have different sort of gameplays. If you play with the shinobi, you get a grappling hook. This is a new tool that's very useful for stealth. It allows her to climb over walls that you cannot climb with Yasuke or without the hook. It offers different paths for Naoe when finding hook points in the game. She can also navigate much faster into the open world. Now, both characters can destroy a large amount of props in the game, but if you play with Yasuke, the samurai, you can break through the shoji doors, as opposed to when you play with Naoe, you can assassinate people through them. I'm also very happy to announce that the hidden blade is back again, which is obviously at this point, like it just has to be in here. But as we saw towards the end of the trailer, it is back in the game, and it can come out as a regular hidden blade. But if you play as a shinobi, you can also extrude the second portion and flip it, so that she has a dual wield using a second weapon called a tanto. And so there you have it. That's Assassin's Creed Shadows. The only question that I have for you guys is that when you get your hands in this game, which by the way, I'm gonna have a link down in the description. If you guys wanna pre-order it, you can go ahead and click that link and pre-order the game for yourselves. I'm super excited, but one question for you. When you get this game, who are you choosing? The more assassin-like character, the assassin shinobi, or the samurai? It's a tough one. So that's our main character, not this guy, but the assassin, the shinobi. She's probably getting revenge on what they did to her little village at this point of the trailer.
All I have ever known in my life.
Yep.
I will end.
Now we're going back to show off what happened to her.
Our customs.
That's her father right there.
My family. Burns in the name of unification.
Makes a lot of sense now. Who's responsible for this? There they are. see her, the main character, and the other main character right here as like he was
Still
sent.
a frog in a well who knows nothing of the sea.
See?
The ocean's filled with new ships, but they all come from the same river.
Yeah.
Greed.
Here we go. Oof. Both stories just look so interesting to play.
Vengeance.
Like, are we gonna need to play both characters to get the full story of this game? Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Maybe it's shorter, but then it's kind of required for you to do both characters to get the full. Oh, that would be nice. What if we do like 8 hours each character?
Will you continue down that river?
Maybe not. It's an open world game. That shot is so sick
Or
too.
choose another path beyond
see?
what we see?
It seems like they both come right here to battle,
We must look for it.
and then they kind of talk it
together.
out maybe, and they realize that they are not each other's enemy. The shot here is beautiful.
We must learn to trust. Rebuild.
And follow the blade.
This is so exciting, bro. I love Assassin's Creed. Like, I really love these games so much. Here we have what happens if you play with Yasuke. You can break doors and shit. He's got a heavier artillery of sorts, if you will.
I said, who do you serve?
That is such a cold,
We are the shadows.
cold scene. The music,
That
dude.
serve the light.
November 15th. Assassin's Creed. Shadows.